Tonight, the weekend edition, Black hotel owners talking ownership. Scotiabank shifting its offerings a bit. Find out what's buzzing with some bees in the studio. And in sports, day one of the World Championships in the books. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. Good evening, I'm Jimenita Swain. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for joining us. Tourism stakeholders exploring opportunities with the multi-billion-dollar untapped African-American travel tourism market at the 9th Annual International Multicultural Heritage Tourism Summit, presently underway at the Hilton Hotel, Miami, Florida. Our Desmond Sanders is there.
Black professionals reportedly make up fewer than 2% of U.S. hotel owners. Access to capital and support the main roadblocks now faced by aspiring entrepreneurs.
As a young man growing up in Oaksfield and visiting my mother and my grandmother in West Street, we didn't see models that allowed us to think and grow.
President of the National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Operators, Dr. Andy Ingram, says his organization now addressing the inequities in the hospitality industry and advancing black hotel ownership nationwide.
We hope through conferences like this and through the summit, where we're the only African-American hotel summit in the country, where I can put, African-Americans on stage and have a $2 or $3 billion worth of net worth sitting on stage like a Sandy Campbell.
And it seems our efforts are paying off. Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, one of the leading franchise chains, announcing an initiative this week that will provide support and capital access to aspiring hoteliers.
Wyndham, as a major brand, joining the rest of the brands, Hilton, Marriott, about increasing the number of African-American owners, but also helping them along the way.
Stakeholders in the Caribbean beset with similar challenges.
I think there needs to be an opportunity in the Bahamas where groups of individuals with smaller amounts of money, pension plans, etc., can organize themselves, trust each other, and form partnerships.
Investment advisor Jerry Butler feels urgent action is needed.
Right now, the Bahamas has a lot of labor. Unemployment exceeds 15%, which is outrageous when the U.S. unemployment rate is only 4%. And then when it comes to capital, there's more than $2 billion in excess liquidity in the Bahamas banking system, which is Bahamian deposits. How do we harvest that and turn that into an opportunity for Bahamians to become involved in a sector where the two major resorts in the country are not owned by Bahamians?
Officials of the National Association of Hotel Owners and Operators are shifting the paradigm this week, a call to action for stakeholders and those in the wider African diaspora. Here at the National Association of Hotel Owners and Operators Summit in Miami, Florida, Desmond Sanders for the Bahamas Tonight.
Also making news, the Bahamas is making big plans to enter the blue carbon credit market. If this is accomplished, the country will be one of the first to engage in the sector using its carbon sink assets, predominantly mangroves and seagrass. These plants help pull carbon dioxide out of the ocean, which make them prime for reducing the impacts of climate change. And as countries search for ways to invest in carbon offsetters like seagrass and mangroves, the Bahamas seems to be in good standing with a reported estimated $300 million worth of assets. But as we currently sit in the midst of another hurricane season, what challenges can that pose? Bahamas National Trust senior scientist Dr. Ancelino Davis explains.
Our country having access to the carbon market allows us to bring in funding for conservation to help us to protect and conserve the habitats that we have. When we do get major impacts by a hurricane or a storm, that can actually damage the carbon stores that we have, the natural environment that we have. But at the same time, the carbon market is a financial infrastructure. The carbon stocks, the environment, that's a different being altogether.
And once those funds are acquired, they can be a significant part of the climate change mitigation and even aid in restoration efforts in the aftermath of a hurricane.
While we can put it into trust and we can say we are going to protect this environment, we really don't know what's going to happen with hurricanes and stuff like that, but it will affect our carbon market value if a major hurricane like Dorian comes through and wipes out a bunch of mangroves or seagrass beds or coral reefs again, because those trees and plants are no longer sequestering carbon, so it reduces their value. But then that shifts us from protecting the carbon to situations where we can actually plant new mangrove trees, new pine forests, and sequester new carbon.
Well, climate change remains a hot-button topic as we maneuver through the second month of what meteorologists predict to be an above-active hurricane season. On Friday, during a special reception at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the first Bahamian graduate from the Climate Change and Health Leaders Fellowship, Dr. William Hamilton, talked about research for his national project and how crucial disaster preparedness education and training is for our healthcare professionals.
Over 80% of healthcare workers would have served in some type of disaster, predominantly COVID-19 and hurricanes. However, 60% of healthcare workers had no prior disaster preparedness training or education. And I think that is something that we need to highlight and we need to look closely at fixing. When we look at the areas of focus for training, we see that most persons had training in natural events, such as tornadoes, fires, hurricanes, and then just coming out of the pandemic, most persons also had training in infectious disease outbreaks. When we look at how time was allocated for training, we see that there was a pretty good cross-section where 38% of the participants had about 1.5 to 4 hours worth of training.
Well, 3 young Bahamian female students were named finalists in this year's Climate Resilient Bahamas video competition. All 3 agents of change walked away with a week-long externship at Eden Acres Braun Development Consultants, the Bahamas Red Cross, and NEMO. Third place went to St. Augustine's College 10th grader Zaria Stapleton, who also received an iPad Pro. Bishop Michael Eldon student Angel Bersanti took home second place, receiving a Samsung S22 Plus, and the winner was Devincia Cox from Anatole Rogers Senior High School, who carried home a MacBook Pro, an iPad Pro, and Beats headphones by Dr. Dre. Well, climate change is one thing that is often in the headlines, as we've seen so far tonight, but sometimes we overlook the smallest insects that can play an important role. Bees, one local agricultural professional, recently hosted a bee college to get the word out while sharing with us how bees do their work.
Bees are a very important pollinator. They're one of over 20,000 pollinators in the world, but bees are more charismatic. People seem to be drawn more to bees. So the focus for Bee College was honeybees, but also other pollinators as well. So for most of the crops that we eat, pumpkins and different fruits and vegetables and native plants depend very heavily on pollinators like honeybees, bumblebees.
More than 40 participants were a part of the Bee College that took place here in the capital, as well as on Abaco and Eleuthera recently. For founder and beekeeper Shagara Lightbourne, bees play a vital role as they can pollinate over 5,000 plants per day.
So if we don't have our bees and pollinators, then we would have to do that ourselves as human beings. And I'm sure you don't want to go around pollinating different plants. I mean, bees really just pollinate plants and flowers because they need food for themselves. They collect the nectar that they take back to the hive. They collect the pollen, which is a protein source, and the nectar is a carbohydrate source. So it's food for them, but it benefits us in a way as well because it helps in that whole process of plant reproduction for crops that we eat, food that we eat, as well as native plants.
And Shagara brought her display hive with her that had thousands of bees buzzing around. But what happens inside?
They use these comb holes for these cells is to store food, to store babies, to store water, and to store honey. So basically that's what the comb is. And in here you have all the bees are communicating right now, and they have different roles depending on the age. So worker bees live to about 36 to 40 days, and as soon as they hatch out, they know what their job is. And then, of course, everybody knows the queen kind of regulates the hive. And then we have the boy bees, who are drones. They don't sting. They don't even have stingers. So usually if a bee stings you, it's a girl bee.
In the hive, she says everyone performs their duties.
Like some of them are mortician bees, some of them are nurse bees. And basically, that's what I like about them. They all work together for the common good of the whole society. And it's not an individualistic type setup. And so I think that's something we definitely could learn from them. And I think it's key to teach children about that from an early age as well.
In other news, it's not a new operation, but Scotiabank's Jerome Avenue and Wolf Road location shifting its focus now that the branch has been reopened and dubbed a retail center. A soft launch taking place Friday with Director of Business Support Nikira Simonet explaining how operations at that branch has changed.
Ultimately, what we're really trying to do as we innovate the way we offer our products and services is create markets within our own brand that caters to specific needs. So when a customer comes to the sales center, the thought is that those are customers who really want to isolate themselves from any other banking transaction at that time and want to have individualized, personalized attention on really discussing home financing plans that they may have for themselves. But it's going to be a state-of-the-art branch that is really customer-centric, customer-friendly, open atmosphere and feel, as Mark has mentioned, an additional drive-through. So instead of one, we'll have both for the left-hand and the right-hand drive cars. And of course, we have intelligent deposit machines at the front.
Well, the team is led by Marcus Moxie, who gives this commitment to customers.
Our team is fully committed to consistently executing on our service basics. We will proactively engage you. We will answer our phones and emails, and we'll operate with a sense of urgency, and we will be a trusted financial advisor. Here at our sales center, we are proud of our 8 responsible, highly capable, and experienced sales professionals fully equipped to change the way our customers experience banking.
From banking now to health, the latest COVID dashboard from the Ministry of Health and Wellness recording 53 new infections. Of the cases, 45 are in New Providence, 5 in Grand Bahama, 1 each in Abaco and Bimini and Catkey, with another location pending. The breakdown shows 24 males and 29 females are infected. 1 person of the 56 hospitalized is in the intensive care unit, while the other 55 remain moderately ill. There are 499 active cases and 33 new recoveries, according to Thursday's dashboard. Total cases for the country now stand at 36,407. Also making news tonight, the United States Coast Guard intercepting 14 Cuban nationals on board a vessel in waters near Dog Rock, that's off Bimini. The group, consisting of 13 males and 1 female, was subsequently turned over to immigration officials in Grand Bahama for processing. The department exercised all COVID-19 protocols and transported the group to the Carmichael Road Detention Center, where they await deportation. Also to come, a cultural fest celebrating all things Bahamian, that and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, continues.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses, including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road, and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Striking while it's hot, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture showcasing another cultural fest at Fort Charlotte, attracting Bahamians from near and far for nearly 2 hours of all things Bahamian. As Lloyd Allen tells us, even the rain was not enough to discourage a healthy crowd of cultural enthusiasts.
Termed a success, officials say their goal of showcasing underplayed performers from around the country was achieved.
This is the folk dance and drum show being put on by the Department of Culture. This is one of our Independence Heritage Week celebrations. We would have engaged many of the folk dance and drum artists that are out here in the Bahamas, as well as in the Family Islands, to come and just put on a showcase of their talents.
Limbo dancing, fire dancing, all that stuff. We're doing tributes to all the drumming greats, so I'm ecstatic.
The start of the event was delayed slightly due to the weather. However, entertainers wasted no time as many had prepared for weeks to showcase their talent. We spoke with many of the attendees also who say rain or shine, they're always happy to celebrate culture.
I'm expecting a full immersion back into drumming and the culture of like Junkanoo and the rhythm that really goes beyond into your body.
I came out because I am a proud Bahamian.
I came out to support my daughter, who's a part of the Rhythm and Youth Band. Despite the inclement weather, you know, the show must go on.
They're honoring drummers, and drumming is my thing. I remember we did a concert like with Bahamian in the early days at Sports Center. It stormed. And people stayed for the concert. We say, oh man, this is going to be over. But hey, the power of music, the weather don't stop nothing, man.
The movement of rhythm even attracting tourists to the event, excited to see Bahamian talent live and in living color.
My name is Lamont Ferguson. I'm from New York City, and I was invited here to enjoy the rhythm of the Bahamas and the people and the festivities. Fantastic. I'm having a great time. Enjoyed being here.
And not to be forgotten, even the technical crew spending moments before the start of the show ensuring to get the perfect sound.
The technical aspect of getting tonight together is a bit tedious, but once you have all the elements together, all of the video assets, make sure that your image is clean, your stream is clean, make sure your audio is clean. You know, all of these different parts come together to make a great production.
The show again featuring Nat Adderley and crew performing a lively drum ensemble, which got many in the audience engaged, lighting up social media. There were also a number of dance groups and a blast from the past showing the Bahamian traditional fire dancers.
I feel it in my bones. So much love for the culture. Oh, I just can't leave it known.
Officials say they have already begun preparing for a similar event next year. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Switching gears now, a perfectly toned body is what most people strive for when they hit the gym on a regular basis. However, our Crystal Darling tells us more.
Weightlifting may be one of the most intimidating workout strategies in fitness. It tests muscle capacity and requires focus, discipline, balance, and consistency. To learn more about the benefits of this practice, we turn to Evolve functional fitness coach Lex Fountain.
You need to be strong. You need to be able to lift and push loads throughout your life, whether that's picking up something heavy from the floor or just trying to get out of your bed. So we train to be strong in all of those functional movements, using weightlifting, using those loads. I think a lot of people are afraid and timid to get into weightlifting, but just try it. Just do it one day, and you'll be surprised. A lot of people find that they love it. Women, men, children, everybody gets a lot of enjoyment out of lifting a heavy weight.
And weightlifting injuries can be severe if a person doesn't know what they're doing. This may also be the reason why some people opt for other regimens. Fountain offers this advice.
It's always good to have a coach to teach you the proper form in the beginning, at least. And besides that, you need to be making sure that you're getting a good warm-up, that you're sleeping good the night before and eating the right food to sustain that workout. And then just lifting with technique and not focusing on the load and lifting heavy, but focusing on moving well. A lot of people do cardio and wonder why they're not getting the results they want. And a part of that is you need to have the weightlifting in there too. It's going to burn the calories and help you lose weight as well. And it's going to help you to take a better form when you do lose the weight and have that muscle tone that most people are looking for.
Making sure that your body is prepared to handle the load is also important. Fountain says being alert and having the energy to lift the weights properly is crucial.
Sleep is one of the most important things that people take for granted, and you want to be getting at least 7 hours of sleep, because if not, the body can't recover, so you can't get stronger, and that's when you start to get injured and stuff like that. And then for food, you want to be staying away from processed food. That's the biggest thing. The body is 70% water alone, so if you're lacking that hydration, you're going to be more prone to injury, your muscles are going to be dried out, and you're just not going to be able to perform well, you're not going to feel well, and the point is to feel good after you work out too. So hydration is super important.
Fountain says although many people may start weightlifting eager to see quick results, that's not always the case.
It's different for everybody. It depends how often you're working out, how much time you're putting into the main aspects. That's getting your training sessions in, how well you're eating, how well you're sleeping. If you do all those things correct, you can get results pretty quick. But I always try to tell people, don't focus so much on how you look, but just focus on moving better, performing better, and the body will come along with that.
Fountain says that weightlifting is a critical part of functional fitness and overall health. He encourages everyone to find a way to incorporate it in their exercise routines. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Crystal Darling.
As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all of our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Crazy. I just ain't going nowhere. Streetside Pizza is officially open. I outside waiting till they come back in the morning. I ain't going nowhere. The authentic Italian pizza location. Streetside Pizza located East Bay Street.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Saturday sports. Well, the World Track and Field Championships getting underway yesterday in Eugene, Oregon, and the 242 already in the mix. Starting up first with the mixed relay. Bahamas' team of 24-year-old Bradley Dormius, Megan Moss, Alonzo Russell, and Anisha Anderson would finish 7th in their heat in a time of 3 minutes and 19.73 seconds. The team would finish 15th overall in the 2 heats combined. Meantime, Grand Bahamian Donald Thomas bowed out of the qualifying rounds of the men's high jump with a leap of 7 feet or 3 inches or 2.21 meters for a tie for 12th place in Group B and 23rd overall. In the evening session of day 1, Samson Colebrook was the only competitor to show up in the heats of the men's 100 meters. He placed 5th in Heat 5 and 10.23 meters for 39th place overall. The only other competitor in action on Friday night was Laquan Nairn in the qualifying round of the men's long jump. He soared 7.80 meters for 10th in Group B and 18th overall.
On the first day of competition, the team did well. We had Donald Thomas in the high jump. We had Laquan Nairn in the long jump. Samson Colebrook in the 100 meters, and the mixed relay team. All the athletes performed well on the first day. I expected some great things out of them. And I think as the coach, they did a wonderful job.
Basketball news: after losing their first two games in the FIBA Caribbean Women's Basketball Championships, Team Bahamas rebounded with 3 players in double figures as they handed Jamaica easily on Friday, 74-53. Leading the way was 16-year-old Antonisha Moultrie with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in 24 minutes of action. Felicia Kelly added 14 points with 3 rebounds and a pair of steals, while Danica Lightbourne contributed 12 points with 5 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 assists. With only 4 teams in the tournament, Team Bahamas finished third in the round-robin group with a 1-2 win-loss record. However, the playoffs will get underway later today, and Team Bahamas will face the Dominican Republic, while Cuba will battle with Jamaica. The 2 winners will meet for the gold and silver on Sunday, and the 2 losers will face off for the bronze. And from the MLB, Jazz Chisholm has been on the injured list since June 29th, but the Miami Marlins All-Star second baseman has not ruled out a return to the field for an appearance in the midseason classic. The 92nd MLB All-Star game will take place at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, and Chisholm still looks to make an historic appearance for both Bahamian baseball and the Marlins franchise. In a recent interview with Miami media, Chisholm saying that his back is feeling all right. He said he thinks he might be able to get on the field by this week, and he should be able to play in the game. Chisholm again is the first ever Bahamian-born All-Star of the 9 Bahamian MLB players. From the Marlins' perspective, he joins Hanley Ramirez, D. Strange Gordon, Marcelo Zuna, Gary Sheffield, and Giancarlo Stanton as the only Marlins to be fan-elected starters. The Bahamas Bodybuilding National is currently ongoing at the Atlantis Theater. For the big night, we spoke with BBF officials on the importance of support from local fans for the big event.
And so this is the return of the sport, and it shows that persons still interested by the mere fact that we have new talent entering these competitions. We've been reaching out to the corporate community. A lot of the corporate sponsors are interested and want to see what we have to put out there. So we're inviting even the corporate sponsors that may not have come on board with us this year to come and see the show and see exactly what we have to offer. Like many other federations, our medal ratio is up to almost 80% per athlete when we carry a national team. That is normally a lot smaller, but we bring back the hardware definitely. And for the preparation and workout plan and diet and the things that these athletes subject their bodies through just to represent this country, they will definitely need your support.
And that's been a look at your sports. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
It's time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. With another wet day here in the capital, Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures and an idea of how long this wet weather will be with us. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Jimenita. We are currently under cloudy skies, temperature 79 degrees, relative humidity 94%. The winds out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1,016.7 millibars. That is 30.03 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening: 83 degrees in Marsh, Abaco, Greenville, Key at 84. 84 also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands, 80 degrees. 86 in Allenstown, Bimini. 80 degrees in Harbor Island, Rock Sound, Eleuthera, Black Point, Exuma, and Kemp's Bay, South Andros. Fresh Week in Central Andros at 84 degrees. Allenstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, all at 80. 80 also in Georgetown, Exumas. 88 degrees in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, 89. Acklands, 89. Matsutown, Inagua, 88 degrees. And the Turks and Caicos Islands also reporting 88 degrees. And your boating forecast for the northwestern islands tonight through Sunday: southeast to south winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags in place. High tide 11:05 tonight, another high tide at 11:35 tomorrow morning. In the central and southeastern islands, also through Sunday, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean, with caution flags also in place for the central and southeastern islands into Sunday. And in the tropics, we have a tropical wave of several hundred miles just to the east of the Leeward Islands that is trekking towards the west at about 15 miles per hour, but it's going to have difficulty developing, and that's because of some strong upper-level wind shearing coupled with the Sahara dust, which extends all the way to the southeast Bahamas. And our satellite picture showing that the mid to upper level deep troughing continues to trigger pockets of showers and thunderstorms over the northwest and central islands. That will gradually move towards the north and west very slowly over the next 24 to 36 hours. So hopefully by Monday, we will see some clearing in these sky conditions. And then our forecast for the night calls for considerable cloudiness, a bit on the warm side, with an isolated thunderstorming spot later on tonight. 79 degrees for the low. And tomorrow, we're looking at interval of clouds and sunshine with a couple of showers, primarily in the afternoon hours. 89 degrees for the high. And your extended weather forecast, showers into Sunday afternoon. Thereafter, we will see some improvement in our weather as we head into the early part of next week. But temperature-wise, we're going to keep it closer to the 90-degree mark. So once again, continue to keep yourself hydrated. Jimenita.
Thanks, Basil. And that will end the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network, as only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Where we're moving on.